Good morning, CSL.
Good morning.
And good morning to all those who are watching Facebook and looking at us, streaming later on? I'm too old to know all the platform stuff. My name is Jahi. I'm the presider for this morning. I'd like to share a holiday story with you, if I may. I was raised by my father. For the first 9-10 years of my life, my father raised me. And my father embodied this teaching, although I don't think he knew anything about universal laws or Ernest Holmes or science of mind or anything, but he embodied this teaching. At about 9-10 years old, he would take me to some of the most expensive restaurants in Los Angeles. And he'd tell me, hey, order whatever you want. Of course, being that age, I would order a hamburger and fries. Right. But he would never order anything. He would just have a cup of coffee. And about the third time I said, Dad, how come you never order anything? He said, son, we both can't afford to eat here. And I was like, well, why don't we go to McDonald's or someplace where we both can afford? He would tell me, he said, I'd rather be around the things that I want than the things that I don't want. My father, 29 years ago, this past Thursday, my father made his transition. And since it was around this time of the year, I have never really gotten into the spirit of this time of the year. Or because I have a 11-year-old son, I can do the outward things to show this time of the spirit. But inside I've been kind of like a Grinch. You know, be glad when it's over with. It hasn't been exciting for me because I miss my dad. You know, he was a great part of me. So last week, and I wasn't thinking about the day of his transition or anything, but on that particular day, I walked by a mirror and I looked in the mirror and I was like, God, you look like your dad. But something hit me then. I realized that my dad has been with me. Now I've said that outwardly, but I never really felt it inside. For the last 29 years, I have not felt that. And that day, I felt that my father was really with me. Not only when I looked in the mirror, but I look at the things that I do and the things that he taught me. And I realized that my father has always been with me. And it brought a smile to my face. And maybe, just maybe, this year I don't have as much Grinch in me inside. So when I say this, I mean it from my heart. I want to wish everybody a very merry and happy holidays. Thank you. Let's say our statement, how we show up, and then greet each other in the way that you feel comfortable. We are a diverse and exclusive spiritual community expressing God as love.
right.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to CSL. We're so glad you're here. If everyone would stand, we'll bring things on in. Singing Spirit is in this place. We've got Mark Hayes, Ben Turvert, Doug Allwater, Paul Roberts, Julia Hell. My name is Lee Langston. Let's sing. Bring everything on in. Warm ourselves up in the midst of this cold weather.
Together as a family, we have come here as we are. We have come with arms wide open. We have gathered here in love. Shouts of praise, Spirit's in this place.
Mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better this Christmas, and as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together this Christmas. Firesides blazing bright, we're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me, yeah. Presents and cards are here. My world is filled with cheer and you. This Christmas, and as I look around, your eyes outshine the town they do. Christmas, firesides blazing bright, we're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me, yeah. Blazing bright, we're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me, yeah. Merry Christmas. Shake a hand, shake a hand. Oh. Merry Christmas.
Good morning, CSL. I'm Judy Whitcraft. I'm your prayer practitioner on duty this week, and I'm going to start off by answering the question people have saying, "What does your shirt say?" And this is important because it embodies CSL. And my shirt says, "Happy everything." I hadn't planned on doing that, but it seemed appropriate. So today's core value is abundance. Law of attraction is your magnet for abundance. What you focus on is what appears in your life. So my question is, are you aware of what you're focusing on? It's important. So my quote today is from Dennis Merritt Jones, a well-known CSL minister and author. And his quote gives us something to ponder. The law of attraction guarantees that complainers will always have a lifetime supply of things to complain about. So that's something to ponder on. Okay. So now for our affirmative prayer, close your eyes if you choose. There is one energy source that creates everything. This infinite energy source that I call God created each one of us to be an individualized expression on this earthly journey. Abundance personified. I love allowing God's abundant good to express through me. I love how God finds interesting adventures in abundance to match what brings me joy. I love that this infinite source of energy has been placed within me and continually refuels me 24/7. I don't even have to go to a fuel station. The power station lives within me. I love having my own personal energy source always refueling me. Always free, no coupons necessary, abundance at its finest. And so it is. Thank you, thank you.
Where I am, God is. Where I stand, God is standing strong. Where I breathe, God is breathing life in and out and through me, as me. God is where I dance. Joy lifts my feet, and where I live, beauty's flowing free, in and out and through me, as me. Where I doubt, God is the faith in me. is comfort there where I seek. God is the answer, here and now and forever and ever and ever. Where I speak, God is, and where I play, God is playing boldly in and out and through me, as me. Oh, oh. Where I am, where I stand, where I play, where I work and breathe and move and be, where I sing, where I dance, wherever I go, where I pray and take and give and live. God is, God is, God is, God is.
God, it really blows my mind. I see your hands on my life in the simplest things. Nothing really goes unplanned, and nothing's really happenstance. When it comes to me, I can see you in the ordinary places, hear you in the little conversations. You're giving meaning when there ain't none. Oh. So I want you in my routine, typical, mundane, everyday things. 'Cause I know you make miracles every second, every minute. I want you in it, doing what only you do. Ooh, with every moment, just know you're wanted in every detail. Yeah. Yeah, valley and I think it's wild. The diamonds and the stars all shine. Like how you use the great and small to light my life. So many ways you show me you care. In the fine print you were right there. Yeah. Always busy making miracles every second and every minute. I want you in it, doing what only you do. With every moment, just know you want it in every detail. I know you're intentional about me, and you're so good, it's too much to mention. When I pay attention, see you make miracles every second, every minute. I want you in it, doing what only you do. Ooh, in every moment, just know you want it in every detail. In every detail. Ooh. In every detail.
Good morning. So you are the hardcore who can stand cold weather. So appreciate seeing all of you so much, that to get out on a day that's just a little bit trying to get out of the house maybe. So thank you for being here. If you weren't able to be here and are at home watching us online, we welcome you too. Thank you for joining us and for watching a little bit later on the podcast when it gets uploaded to the website. So before we get started, I want to remind us that today or this evening is the beginning of Hanukkah. For all of you in this community and all of you watching who were raised in the Jewish tradition and still are in that tradition, one of the things we do here at CSL is honor any of those paths that lead us to our Creator, lead us to the divine. So we honor and celebrate with our Jewish friends this special holy holiday and time of year that the Jews celebrate of Hanukkah. And that goes until next Monday, the 22nd. So there is so much to learn about the Jewish faith, the Jewish tradition, and just looking up information about Hanukkah that is just so rich and so got so much tradition and meaning behind it. So we honor that with our Jewish friends today. So one of the things that we do every Sunday is welcome everyone who is with us. We especially welcome those of you who are here for the first time, watching for the first time, and are checking us out. This is part of who we say we are, our practice of inclusion. So as I always like to say, it doesn't mean we agree with everybody on everything or see eye to eye, but that's just part of diversity. So our job is to practice inclusion the best we can and just keep getting better at it a little bit more each week as we're together. So let's say this welcome for those around us. As Center for Spiritual Living, you are welcome because of your age, your race, religion, gender identification, who you love, who you vote for, your dream, and your education. Thank you for the practice that we do every week of inclusion and just getting better at that as we go. So in December, we're talking about things worth remembering. Last week I talked about how it's important to remember that we are more together than we are alone, that we don't have to do this journey, this life, this spiritual path that we're on. We don't have to do it alone. There are plenty of people around us to support us, and it's good to remember that, especially when we're challenged, that we aren't by ourselves, that there are people in our communities, maybe friends, other places that support us, and we need to draw on that strength from one another. But today I want to talk about something that may sound a little mundane, and that is a thing to remember is the importance of building and maintaining a spiritual practice or a spiritual toolkit. And so, like I said, that may appear to be mundane, but I think once we start looking at or remembering the benefits of having a spiritual toolkit or having spiritual tools, then it doesn't become quite so mundane. It's just something that we need to remember from time to time. So it started me thinking, this whole idea of a kit, that you may have a number of other kinds of kits, either around your house or maybe in your car. You may have a first aid kit that's got things like just the essentials, Band-Aids, bandages, disinfectant, any other thing that is an essential thing for you to have readily available in a first aid kit. Growing up in my mom and dad's house, I can still see this in my head. There was a closet, and I can remember the shelf in the closet all these years later that had our first aid kit in it. And had lots of stuff. I think my mom had 2 or 3 boxes that were toolkits. She just kind of threw everything in, I think. But it was not complete without my mom's miracle cure, which was mentholatum or Vicks Vapor Rub. It cured everything. If you had nasal congestion, she'd smear mentholatum all over your face, and somehow it seemed to clear it up. Maybe it's because our moms did it. If our chest was, congested and we coughed, she'd smear Vicks Vapor Rub all over our chest. So is this anybody else's experience? Oh, yeah. Part of the first aid kit, though, you got to know where it's at. That's one of the reasons for the first aid kit. It's got the essentials right where you need them. If you sew, which I do not, but you may have a sewing kit. So I'm imagining that in a sewing kit, you would have needles, different color thread, scissors maybe. If you knit or crochet, like I know some of you do, you probably have a kit with your yarn and your knitting needles or your crocheting needles. You may have a toolkit that's got some essentials in it, like a hammer and nails, maybe wrenches, screws, screwdrivers of different kinds. People who are really hardcore into tools probably have much more of a complicated or involved toolkit than that, but that's just some of the essentials in a kit. But whatever you need them for, the purpose of a toolkit or a sewing kit or a first aid kit is that you already have the resources you need when you need them to deal with the situation. You don't have to scramble to find them. You don't have to hunt all over the house for what you need. So if you need to sew on a button, you already have the sewing kit with a needle and a thread. If you cut your finger, you already have a first aid kit with bandages and Band-Aids and maybe disinfectant. Need to hang a picture. You already have a toolkit with hammer and nails. So you are already prepared for what you need and the resources that you need to meet the situation. So what about a spiritual toolkit? Now, I'm not going to ask you if you have one. This isn't about making anybody feel bad or guilty. These are just suggestions and things to think about. But do you have a spiritual toolkit like you may have other kits? So our spiritual toolkit has resources that we need to prepare us for what life has a way of putting in front of us so that we have the spiritual resources we need when we need them. So I think it's easy for all of us, and when I say all, I'm including me. I think it's easy for all of us to fall into routines where everything is just going okay. And so then from that place, it's easy to minimize or easy to put off building up spiritual resources that we need instead of building a spiritual toolkit so that we're better prepared for what life brings when it brings it. So I'm sure many of you know this is not a new statement, but living a spiritual life in today's world can be a challenge. Not everybody, though, can retire to a mountaintop retreat or spend hours a day in a devotional practice. For the average person like us, incorporating spiritual practices into everyday life has to take into consideration the pace of our lives that comes with just the ordinary demands of jobs and family and just life in general. So I'm going to make an assumption that your life is probably busy for you. So we need manageable options to incorporate spiritual practices into our routine with the hope that in their simplicity, and that's the key word, simplicity, that they will find a permanent place in our lives. So I say simplicity because I think we have a tendency to try to make our spiritual practices complicated. Like they have to look a certain way, they have to last a certain length of time. I think we need to be flexible when we start talking about those practices. So at some point, at some point on our spiritual path, we all notice that there is more going on than just our individual effort to get the things that we want. We notice that we are connected to something larger. And that's part of spiritual awareness, to realize that we are part of something bigger than ourselves and our own individual life. The desire to connect beyond our small self to a larger self appears to be a universal thing that people feel. And we need spiritual tools or a spiritual toolkit and resources that will give us greater connection to the one power and the one presence in the universe that is the source of all the good that we can imagine. Well, the foundation of a spiritual practice is regularity. It's regularity and consistency. And those might be the biggest challenges to having a spiritual practice, the consistency and the regularity. But when a regular practice sounds challenging for me or sounds mundane, I'm reminded that when my brother and I played baseball all the way through high school, we had ball practice every day after school. It was so routine that we didn't have to make room for it in our day. It just had become part of the day. So school would end, we would jump on a bus to the ball field, and for the next 2 hours, we would practice. Fielding ground balls, fly balls, having hours and hours of batting practice. And then the next day, we would repeat it over again, day after day after day. And the whole thing was to prepare for a ball game in the future. All those practices got us prepared for what would happen when it was the real game. So practice of any kind depends on consistency, whether that's working out to get in better shape, playing a musical instrument and trying to get better at it, improving our eating habits, learning a new dance step, learning anything new pretty much. All are the most effective when they are done and practiced consistently. This seems to be true for what we would call our spiritual practice as well. The practice is preparation. The practice is building up resources for the times when we're going to need them. Having a spiritual toolkit already available when life happens and we need something more. So part of the CSL ministerial program, which I actually really appreciated, was studying world religions. And of course, what you discover when you do that is that religions of the world have common principles that they teach, common principles to live by. So in some way, they all talk about things like love and kindness, compassion, generosity, giving, service, forgiveness. So they have all of those principles to live by in common, but they also have some common practices among the world religions and spiritual traditions when it comes to things to increase our connection with the God of our understanding. So I'm going to share 5 of them with you. They may not be in every religion across the board, but these are the ones that are the most common that show up. So the first one is one that you would guess is prayer. I think we complicate prayer. Prayer is really just communication between you and your Creator. It's just speaking you to your Creator for what it is you want to say, for what's on your mind, what's on your heart. I think we don't have to get hung up on saying the right words in just the right order. Just doing it, just knowing that you're connecting to something bigger than you is really the point. And by the way, if you're familiar with Islam, Muslims stop and pray 5 times a day. And I think, what would change? What would change it? I mean, honestly, I don't stop 5 times a day and pray. But sometimes I wonder, what would change if I did that 5 times a day? Just stop for 5 minutes and have a prayer. It just stops you where you are and helps you remember maybe something that's more important than what appears is happening in life right in front of us. So prayer is one of those practices, just communicating, speaking with your Creator. The second one that's familiar to many of us is meditation. That is basically just listening, being still, stopping, being quiet. We don't have to make this complicated either, because there are lots of ways to do this. Yeah, we can sit on the floor with our legs crossed on a meditation cushion, the traditional way, but some days that's just not working for me. So, partly because I can't get back up from that position without help. But there are days that it just works better to get out of the house and just go walk. Sometimes it's just spending time in nature. Some people use yoga or Tai Chi or other forms of movement as the time to be still inside and reconnect. Some people listen to inspiring music or read something that is inspirational. Basically, it comes down to any way that you can find to just stop, be still, and reconnect to something bigger than you. It doesn't have to be a magic formula with a magic amount of time doing it. It's, again, the consistency and the regularity. Another thing that the world traditions have in common is giving. Basically, it's circulating your good. So I like to say, or we like to say during the offering, that giving is a spiritual practice. It is not done out of obligation or guilt, or I hope nobody gives out of obligation or guilt. We just want giving that is done with joy and with gratitude. No matter what your giving is, do it with thanks. Jahi is really good. I think every time he comes up here to prepare us for the offering, just talks about do it from your heart. Another common practice is service. True service is doing it without expectation of a reward or a specific result. And there are so many ways to be in service. every organization like ours, depends on volunteers. That's just one way to serve. There are so many ways here and out in the world to serve, and they don't have to be big, newsworthy flashes that you've done. It can be in the quiet and almost unnoticed. I know some of you like to practice random acts of kindness. Those are acts of service. You're making someone's life better. So there's something you can do with that, and start your day asking, what can I do today to make the world a better place? And then watch. Then just watch for what opens up in your day that may be small or may be great, but it's what can I do today to make the world a better place, being in service. And the very last thing is a practice of gratitude. There are so many ways to practice that. Whether it's just in the quiet of your own mind, in the quiet of your prayers, in your quiet of your meditation. Many people do gratitude journals first thing in the morning or last thing at night. So it's just the practice of paying attention and remembering what you have, the people you have, the things you've experienced to be grateful for. It's just more of an awareness, really turning up the awareness of what's in my life to be grateful for and who is in my life to be grateful for. So there are actually some benefits, a few benefits of doing this practice. Number one is being proactive instead of reactive. If we've taken the time to build our spiritual toolkit, we don't have to just react anymore. We can be more thoughtful, just more thoughtful and conscious of what we're about to say, what we're about to do, and how we're about to interact or speak with someone. Basically, it means you have the resources you need when you need them. You don't have to go searching for them. You've already made them part of who you are. The second thing that's a benefit is building a spiritual practice or a spiritual life connects you to something bigger than yourself and bigger than your own individual life. It can improve emotional resilience. And what emotional resilience is defined as, or one of the ways, is that we become more grounded and more centered. And who doesn't want to be more grounded and more centered as you go through your day? Taking that time to build a spiritual toolkit can help do that, to ground us and to center us. And then it also improves other parts of our life. We all know the mind, body, spirit connection. If something has improved your spiritual life, it also has a way of reaching into other parts of your life to improve those parts as well. So as I said before, though, practice is preparation. And practice is building resources for the times when you need them. And consistency, again, is the key. So I wanted to end today in a way that I don't think we've ever done before. So this is going to be something really new. So I'm praying that it's as meaningful to you as it is up here in my head. So last week, when we were talking about being more together than we are alone, and this idea of things worth remembering, several people had a conversation with me about that, but during the conversation, it turned from remembering things to remembering people, specifically remembering people who have passed. So I'd like to do that this morning together with you. So when I got home that day and I was thinking about it during the week, I thought, in the past 3 years or so, we've experienced the passing of a number of people in this community. So I thought this morning while we were all together that we could have a time where we turn from remembering things to remembering them. and not remembering to make anyone sad. If you feel sadness, that's okay, but that's not what I'm trying to do. What this is really about is honoring and celebrating these people, celebrating their lives and what they meant to us. So there is a poem entitled We Remember Them by Sylvan Kamens and Rabbi Jack Reimer. So while I read this poem, I'll be bringing up pictures of those from this community that we're remembering today. Kathy Boffman, at the rising sun and in its going down, we remember them. Judy Durrell, at the blowing of the wind and in the chill of the winter, we remember them. Bill Emerson, at the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. Barry Morse, at the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of summer, we remember them. Kim Osbar, at the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of the autumn, we remember them. Diane Schick, at the beginning of the year and when the year ends, we remember them. And the last few people are folks who haven't been here for a while. Jeannie Looper Smith and her husband Ross were here many years until they moved to Florida to be with closer to their family, their kids and their grandkids. But Jeannie passed about a month ago, and so that was a big loss. And Christopher Carl Snyder is Marilyn Shear's son, who passed recently. And I couldn't find pictures for Nick Stoddard, who passed recently, and for David Beaulieu, Jackie's husband, who passed a number of years ago, but was a part of this community as well. So we remember them. I'm going to read their names one more time so we really remember. Kathy Boffman, Judy Durrell, Bill Emerson, Barry Morse, Kim Osbar, Diane Schick, Jeannie Looper Smith, Christopher Carl Snyder, Nick Stoddard, and David Beaulieu. As long as we live, they will live too, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. So part of the things worth remembering include the people we want to remember and what they meant to us. All of those people that brought many things into our lives. So if you would, I'd like to have just a short prayer of gratitude for those people. So we stop for this moment in time and give thanks for all of those people that we saw up on the wall, our memories of them, the love they gave us, the laughter they shared, the wisdom they shared with us. Some of them, many of them shared their strength, many kinds of strength. Many of them were in service to this community and supported our growth. So we remember them with gratitude and thanks. So if there is someone else from this community that passed that I did not remember today, please let me know this week, and we will have room in the service again next Sunday to remember them the way you would like. So thank you so much for being here this morning and listening wherever you are. Thank you for building your spiritual toolkit with resources that benefit all of us. And thank you for remembering people that played a part in making this community what it is today. So I'd like to go directly into our spiritual practice, our meditation time together, and just remind you that if you need prayer support, there are a number of ways that we love providing that support for you. You can meet a prayer partner up here at the front of the room before or after the service. They will listen to your request and say a prayer with you. If you don't want to do that, you can get a prayer request card from some of the seats in front of you. There's also a podium right there in front of the pole that has cards that you can fill out. You can put those in the offering basket or in the prayer box in the lobby under the TV. You can also go to cslkc.org, click on prayer, and an email box pops up. You can fill that out and send it in. All of those requests in any of those ways are all confidential. Only your prayer partner will know about them. You can also listen to a recorded prayer. It changes every day at 816-931-2396. So this is the time where we practice one of the tools in our toolkit that I talked about. And it's time for just being quiet, being still, and letting that presence make itself known to us in at the core of our being. So let's let Julia and the music team provide us a song to get us ready, and then we will have a period of silence together. So the beauty of being still and quiet is that we don't have to do anything. We can put aside our doing and accomplishing and figuring things out long enough to just have a few minutes of quiet and silence to access that part in us that is always available when we slow down and stop the busyness and all the activity. There's something there waiting for us. And so we open our hearts and our minds to that right now as we sit in the quiet.
is the time of the service in which we have an opportunity to also express by giving. And as Reverend Mike says, I always tell you, please make sure you give from your heart. I also have a little something I'd like to present. Every year I do a bike giveaway, and this year, no different. May 9th, we're going to give away. I have a flyer here that I'll put up once I get permission to put it up. You can take a look at if you want to donate a bike. There's a physical place that you can take the bike to be donated, or if you have financial donations. But whatever you give, make sure you give from your heart. You've already given so much by just being here, by your attendance, by watching, and we appreciate that. Let's say our giving our statement, our offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
Surrounded by a presence, surrounded by a friend. The source of all creation allows my heart to sing. The source of all creation allows my heart to sing again. Alle, alleluia, alle, alleluia, alle, alleluia, alle, alleluia, alle, alleluia, alle, alleluia. One love, one word, one joy, that's what it is. One love, one word, one joy, that's what it is. Alle, alleluia, alle, alleluia, alle, alleluia, alle, alleluia, alle, alleluia, alle, alleluia.
So if you were here for the first time this morning, there is a welcome packet over on the desk, or a table over there underneath the window. It's a brown one, and it has some additional information about us in it. You're invited. We would love it if you take that and learn a little bit more about us. And if this felt like a good fit for you, we would love it if you came back to see us again and be part of this community anytime you would like. When you came in, you got a handout with a number of things that's going on this week. There's a few announcements to make. Debbie, if you want to come up for one last time for the giving tree. Who's going to do the Jeannie Galat? You want to come up? She's going to do a little presentation as a kind of a little teaser for something they're doing at the end. So Debbie's going to tell us what to do on this last Sunday of the giving tree. If I'll move out of your way.
Thank you. Okay, today's the last day. If there are any tags left on the tree that you feel in your heart you want to take, all of the gifts need to be returned next week in a gift bag, unwrapped for security reasons, to go to Hope House. We will do the sorting and stuff on Monday. I'm sorry, I'm still kind of lost in the meditation thing.
Come back.
That happens to me once in a while. It's like I get so into it, and then I come up here and I'm like, oh, think reality. So yes, last week to take a tag off the tree. All the gifts need to be returned next week. Totally appreciate everyone who has helped, who has given. It's a great thing. So thank you.
Thank you. Jeannie, what you got? Oh, you have a team. Oh, you have.
Okay.
Are these your dancers?
These are the. Yes, this has been choreographed. Yes. Good morning and hello. I'm Jeannie Galat, and I am a representative of the CSL's environmental team called Earth's Allies. And first, before I go anyplace, I want to say thank you from the whole team for your great action in taking part in the battery collection program and in trying to use your cloth bags instead of plastic bags, and especially for taking part in the composting program. You've been doing really great. But now we need to take our composting to the next level of accuracy. You see, the KC Composting Company that comes and picks up our composting has sent us a very important message. That we must be very, very careful about exactly what we put into the composting bin. If we put into the composting bin things that are not allowed, they will fine us $85. So of course, we don't want to receive any fines, and we don't need to. So we're here to get even clearer about what can and cannot go into the composting bin.
You can't compost Terry Ball.
So we have a big question here. So, that's upside down.
Not to her.
Good for a laugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stand on your head.
So this one, these are the wheels.
It's a work in progress.
I know sometimes it's hard to keep it all straight. What's compostable and what's recyclable? Big, big question. So we're not here right on stage to go into full-blown detail, but I'm going to give you just a quick way to tell the difference. Here it is. Okay, so composting, that's the orange bin, the one that you see out there out front. And we have a composting bin in our hospitality room. Composting means that everything we put in there will decompose. It is biodegradable. In other words, it will go back into the earth, into the soil. It is worm food. Food for worms. Yay! So that goes in the orange bin. Recycling, on the other hand, will not decompose. It is not able to break down into soil food, things like plastic and aluminum foil. Can't go back in the soil. These items must go into a manufacturing type processing plant to get turned into other things, like recycled plastic and recycled paper. This may surprise you, but if you're not sure which goes where, here's the rule of thumb. When in doubt, throw it out. Put it in the trash. You know, years ago, everything went into the landfill. Now we're doing really great. We're not putting everything in the landfill. But if you're not sure, put it in the trash. We would like you to come back to our table right there in the back for just a minute after service, where you can get clear on exactly the things that go into the bin, but mostly the things not to put into the composting bin. So we also have charts that will help you and samples that will help you, and Tara will be there at the table, and she'll answer any questions that you have. So thanks for helping us do this. You've been great.
Thanks. Okay, then the very last thing is on the bottom, on the back. We started year-end giving. I know many organizations do this for people who like to give extra giving at the end of the year. So you have that opportunity if you're able. We know you give every week or give regularly, so we thank you for that. Appreciate it more than you know. That's what keeps us together, what keeps us here. If there's extra beyond your regular giving that you want to give at the end of the year, you can do that in the same way that you give any other of your contributions, so making it easy. So thank you so much for all of your generosity all year long and for what you're able to do at the end of the year. So I think that's it. They will probably start coming in if they hear you sing.
We welcome you, Caribou. We welcome you, Amen. We welcome you, Caribou. We welcome you, Amen. to your family. Welcome into love. Welcome to your safe space. Welcome to your family.
So let's stand together, say our closing affirmation. This is how we believe our Creator sees each and every one of us. Who are you? I am a perfect expression of God, worthy of a life of love and joy right now.